Okay, we welcome in Joe Satriano for our new segment, Talkin' Baseball. And Joe, baseball fans do not like the big topic of conversation because it revolves around the cheating scandal, which has cost three managers have been axed. Alex Cora with the Red Sox, Carlos Beltran, even before he managed his first game with the Mets, and A.J. Hinch. And they also fired Luchow, their general manager with Houston. So what are your thoughts on this baseball scandal where cheating has been a big topic and already the Astros were fined, the investigation is ongoing about the Red Sox, and Carlos Beltran, who was involved in the Astros scandal, he lost his job in the Mets. So what's your whole thought on this whole fiasco?
Well, Howie, first of all, being a Yankee fan that I am, I think about the fact that we could have been in the World Series a couple of years if it wasn't for some of this possible enhancement at hitting the ball. I worry more about the fact that, kids look up to these athletes. And, not that they're role models. I believe it was the great Charles Barkley that said, "Don't look at me as a role model because I'm not." But kids do take this in and they see this, and it worries me that maybe they might believe that cheating can get you by. It can't, because eventually it shows up and it rears its ugly head and gets caught. It may take a while. But, I think also about how hard it is to really reach the World Series. I never played myself, but...
it's the pinnacle.
Yeah, and the fact that you work so hard to get there and you want to be on a level playing field, and those teams weren't, and it's not fair. I know the Dodgers came out and said that they don't want a pennant. It would be a fake flying flag. So you're not going to take anything away from the two teams that won, Boston and Houston, but it certainly is a mark on them.
And Joe, I have a feeling another shoe's going to drop. And don't be surprised, you heard it here on the Halftime Howie Show, is that the New York Yankees of 2019 are going to be accused of cheating. And let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
I got Joe's surprise on that one. A member of the Yankees coaching staff in 2019 was the aforementioned Carlos Beltran, who was a prominent figure in the cheating scandal in Houston. And there was a report saying that when the Red Sox and Yankees played over in London, after the Yankees swept the 2-game series, in a very snide remark, but telling remark, Alex Cora said to the media, the real MVP of the Yankees is Carlos Beltran, because I am amazed how the Yankees knew so many things that were happening before they happened. So I just have a feeling, Joe, that, they say the old saying, a leopard doesn't change his spots, that because Beltran was a part of the Yankees in 2019, do you all of a sudden become a choir boy when he joined the Yankees? Or does some of those cheating antics, which he was so good at in Houston, be continued with the Yankees? Your thoughts?
Well, if it is true, and it's just an allegation right now, and I want to find out who the alligator is. If it's true, obviously that they're wrong. But if you look at 2019, they did not make the World Series. So even though it possibly could be a wrong thing that happened, it didn't really amount to what the other two teams...
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying that, when you take Alex Cora and Carlos Beltran, who are the two people most prominently mentioned in the Commissioner Manfred's report, Cora was mentioned for cheating with the Astros in 2017 and the Red Sox in 2018. So to me, if Beltran was guilty in 2017 with the Astros, like Cora, who was guilty with two teams, it's hard to believe that he didn't do anything illegal with the Yankees in 2019? Because again, Cora cheated with 2 teams. It's a fact that Beltran was involved with Houston. Why not with the Yankees?
Okay, well, again, if that's the case, he deserves to be punished for that. Again, it didn't really amount to too much other than winning those 2 games, which they happened to win. They certainly had a great season, but if he did help them cheat, they must be slow learners.
Absolutely. Now the other thing is, let's take a look at these three guys that lost their jobs: AJ Hinch, Beltran, and Cora. Now Beltran has never proven anything as a manager because he got they called it mutual parting of the ways. But AJ Hinch and Cora both won world championships. Do you feel, given their roles, that either one of them will be given another opportunity down the road?
You know, we live in a forgiving society, and time heals all wounds, as they say. I do believe that, eventually they will be given a chance again. It's going to take time, though. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, because they are good baseball people. The word in the clubhouses that they say that they're ball player type of managers. They care. They get involved. I would say that there's a pretty good chance that they will get another job. I think people who continue to deny it, like the GM from the Astros, I don't think he's ever admitted anything to that. That's going to be pretty tough for him. Plus, I don't believe he was well liked anyway in the baseball family.
Right. There was allegations of abuse against women, and didn't treat women reporters with any respect and dignity. I personally think Cora has a long road back because he was involved in cheating with both the Red Sox and the Astros, and they said he was, quote unquote, the mastermind behind it. Whereas AJ Hinch was not the mastermind. As a matter of fact, there was a couple of occasions where he destroyed the equipment in the dugout because he was disgusted with it. His biggest fault was that he didn't put a stop to it, but he wasn't as involved as Cora. So I think the baseball world will be more forgiving towards him than Cora.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm also waiting for how the rest of the baseball players are going to take this. Are they going to jeer them, every time they're up at the plate?
Oh, I think absolutely.
The fans are going to mercilessly, kill them. So I believe that one of the best things that the Astros and the Red Sox, if they were involved, should do is they should come out and apologize. At least admit to the fact that, yes, they did accept this help, and it did aid them in winning. And that will go a long way towards the healing. But if you don't admit it, and you stay mum on it, the cloud is always going to be there.
Matter of fact, I'll give you one example, which I think should take place. I don't know if it will, but I think it should. Over the winter, the Mets made a transaction where they picked up an outfielder from the Astros. And to me, if I was him, I think Jake Marisnik, whatever his name is, if I was him, I would address the teammates on day one in spring training and come clean and say, look, guys, I was part of this. I'm not proud of it. I feel that what me and the Astros did was wrong, and just get out in the open. Because I feel that some of his teammates are going to look at him in not the greatest way. So I think if I was him, I would address it on day one, because otherwise I think he could feel uncomfortable among his teammates on the Mets.
And it'll be a distraction as well. When you're out to win a pennant and win a World Series, you don't need any of that other stuff going on. It's hard enough to do that. The interesting thing, too, is how, there's this, they always talk about with police, there's that blue shield of quietness, that, things stay within the house. Mike Fiers, who was the man who kind of blew the whistle on this
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
It's funny, the reactions that you're getting from different people.
Oh, yeah.
Some are saying, good work, I'm glad you're doing this because you're going to clean up baseball. And others said, this guy's a rat.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that he definitely is not going to be well liked by people that, what should be in the house stays in the house. But I think the other interesting aspect is I think the Astros, maybe the Red Sox, anytime they go on the road, they're going to get met with such a harsh reaction, being called cheaters and things like that. So I think that they're really going to be come from a harsh reaction when they go on the road this year.
Well, I read somewhere, and I forget where it was, that Dodger fans are going to go to the Los Angeles Angels Stadium when the Astros are playing at the beginning of the year, and they're just going to boo them till there's no...
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. And I think, Dallas Keuchel, who was a pitcher for the Astros, just signed a 3-year contract with the White Sox, and he came out publicly and apologized. He said, I wanted to be on the record that I was a member of those Astro teams, I want to apologize for what the Astros did. I think that's a right move.
I agree. If you do something wrong and you're caught, even if you weren't caught, come out and admit it. And this way, at least it cleans your conscience, if anything. It doesn't change the act, because the act has happened. That's the other thing, too. The Dodgers were talking about, how really they felt cheated that they lost that series. And of course you can't go back and replay it. Players are different and times are different, whatever. But it's a shame that really they didn't really get a fair shake.
And they could say that they were screwed twice, because the Red Sox are involved in the cheating scandal, so they could say that they got screwed in 2 straight World Series.
You're right, and you could even go back a little further. Don't even go to the World Series. Go to the playoff games, the ones that even preceded the World Series. All those teams, the Yankees were involved.
Yeah, like
the
CC
Rays.
Sabathia, whose career is over. He feels one of his last shots was, illegitimately taken away from him. He's very angry about it.
Oh yeah, he's come out. He's come out about it, and he's entitled to that feeling, especially when you know that you're at the end of your career, and this was probably his last hurrah, and it was just taken away. Now, that's not to say that they weren't going to hit him anyway. But if you're given that unfair advantage, if maybe even I knowing that there's a fastball coming as opposed to a curve, I may stand in there a little bit better,
Absolutely.
I don't know what's worse though. There was a discussion I heard about, the steroid situation or the cheating scandal.
They're both bad. They're both bad in their own rights, and any type of cheating is bad. So let's hope this is the end of it in baseball, and we can talk about the greatness of the players, about Aaron Judge hitting 65 home runs or something like that, than talking about this cheating scandal. But it's definitely put a stain on baseball, no question about it.
Oh, without a doubt, and it's going to take time.
But Joe, let's talk about your book. It's a great thing, and even though he's a passion for baseball, Joe's done some great things in his life. So let's talk about the book.
Oh, thank you, Howie. Yeah, well, you've had me on so many times. I so appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I wrote a book about my life with my wife, Susan, married for 29 years. We were both high school math teachers, Howie. Did you know that?
Multiplied twice.
Yes, we did. Unfortunately, Sue contracted breast cancer 16 years into our 29-year marriage and 13 years after she passed away. The book is about my life with Susan, and it's not a book about loss, even though you know the ending. It's a book about hope and optimism and love. And the best part of the book is 100% of its proceeds goes to a foundation that I established after Sue passed away. It's called the Houston Satriano Foundation, and I give out scholarships to high school seniors who are going to college in the fall. The kicker: to be eligible, they have to have a parent who's either passed away of cancer, presently battling, or in remission. Last year I helped 184 kids with scholarships, and I reached the vaulted number. Are you sitting down, Howie? I don't want you to faint.
I want to hear this.
I reached the number of $1 million in scholarships after 14 years to over 1,700 kids across the nation.
Well, we'll use a word that your wife would have used, mazel tov.
Ah, thank you. And because she was Jewish, I understand everything you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Howie.
great, Joe. And so with that, talking baseball with Joe Satriano. Great job, Joe.
Thank you, Howie.